Hey plant lovers, welcome back to my channel Grow Easy Houseplants. So today's video is quite special because this plant, the string of pearls, is one that I have tried 5 times till now. So on my first 4 attempts, I failed miserably, and thankfully on my fifth time I got it right because I realized that the internet has been lying to us, and the way you're supposed to take care of this plant is absolutely different from what you have heard till now. So, let me spill the secret on how to grow your string of plants into a very beautiful, long, and trailing specimen just like mine. So, let's get started. So, the first reason why your string of pearls dies when you get it home from the nursery is because the plant influencers tell you to immediately repot this plant into a well draining soil mix. Now, while that is good advice, let me tell you that I haven't repotted this plant. Now, when they tell you that you have to immediately repot it into a different sort of soil mix, one thing you have to understand is the nurseries are growing these plants in bulk. Like they have tons and tons of pots of string of pearls growing in this very soil mix till they sit on the shelf of your big box store or your plant shop. And this soil mix works, okay? You just have to learn how to balance the water and light for this plant, because if the soil was that bad, then probably the plant wouldn't have existed in this nursery mix, right? So I would always advise that when you do get this plant, get a healthy specimen. If it is healthy, then you don't need to immediately repot it, but get the light and watering correct. Now let's talk about lighting. Now, lighting is a very subjective topic, right? I mean, some people will just tell you that this plant should not be placed in direct sunlight and it should only receive bright indirect light. Now, what does bright indirect light even mean? Isn't it so subjective? That is one of the reasons why my previous attempts at growing this plant failed, because I never placed it in direct sunlight. And when I got this plant, I was like, okay, let's just put it in a direct sunlight zone and see how the plant responds. It's always a good idea to keep a feedback loop. Like, you do some things with your plants and then you try to assess its response to stimuli such as moisture, light, and so on. So I decided to use this plant as an experiment, and I basically put it up here. Like, I hung it from the curtain rod of my south facing porch door. And it was, I think, in late October that I got this plant. And around that time of the year, the sun has already leaned more towards the south. And so it used to get direct sunlight every time we could see the sun, because there are so many cloudy days over here. Like, even this entire week it has been so cloudy that I just thought that, okay, there's no point in waiting for a sunny day to make another set of videos, so let me just go ahead and see what my videos look like even when it's cloudy outside. Okay, coming back to the topic now. So, yes, so it was late in October that I bought this plant. I put it up on this porch door, right up against this porch door, and it would receive direct sunlight from basically the entire day. And I saw that this plant did not throw a fit. I mean, it was healthy, it was continuing to grow longer. But what I was noticing is drying of the pearls. So essentially, the pearls were getting really dry, wrinkly, and then hard, and eventually falling off. Although I was getting really good growth lengthwise. So that gave me the proof that this plant can handle gentle sun rays throughout the day. In the place where I'm living, which is in Illinois region, because the sun rays are pretty gentle. So if you live further away from the equator and you are having overcast days, quite frequent overcast days, I would say you can place this plant in a spot which gets light throughout the day. If you're living close to the equator, I'm guessing the best spot for this plant would be against an east facing window, because usually the morning sun rays are quite gentle and it would not burn the pearls. So now let's talk about the watering. Now, coming to how you're supposed to water this plant, now I must say that people have been lying to you throughout. Okay, people would have just found a very nice specimen of this plant and then immediately got it home and made a nice video about it. But in 3 months' time, they would have probably killed the plant and it's not there in their collection anymore. Because I have seen quite a few plant YouTubers who at some point in time would have made a plant care video for this plant, but they never really showed that their plant care techniques worked, right? So accordingly, I had decided to, really grow this plant successfully and only then make a video of it. And I realized that the second reason why growing this plant fails is because people have misguided, or people just didn't know themselves how to water this plant. I water it every single week. Yes, you heard me right. Now, it's not that just out of the blue I happen to start watering it every single week. It's just that there were two reasons. So initially I would water it twice a month, and you remember me telling you that I would see a lot of the pearls from the top region would get very crispy and dry and shriveled up. Now that is because the older pearls on the top were trying to provide moisture and nutrition to newer growth at the bottom. So it's not that one fine morning I just woke up and got the strength and courage to start watering this plant more frequently on a weekly basis. It's just that before I got this plant in October and I noticed everything that was going on with the plant for maybe a month and a half. So, till then, it would have probably been 6 months of growing my echeverias and my jade and my sempervivum, right? And these were three plants which I would keep under very high light. And these were the plants that I initially started watering on a weekly basis. Like even my pothos doesn't need water every 7 days. But when I was growing these echeverias, I realized that if I watered them every 10 days or every 14 days, what was happening is the rate of losing older leaves to drying was far higher than the rate of generation of new leaves on the top. So I realized that, okay, probably these plants need more frequent watering, and so I started watering my echeverias, basically all those rosette shaped succulents and my jades on a weekly basis. And that had sort of shifted my mindset, right? It sort of changed my thinking that succulents don't need as much watering to start accepting the fact that actually succulents need a lot of water if you're giving them the right growing conditions. So those succulents, when I started growing them, like when I started watering them on a weekly basis, I saw that, they were growing larger, they were losing the older leaves at a much slower rate, and so the rosettes were looking more full. So that sort of like built up that feedback loop for me, that it is okay to water succulents on a weekly basis. And that is exactly what motivated me to try watering this plant every week, starting from December, sometime in December, maybe the second week of December or so. And since then, I have seen that the growth on this plant is much more faster. It doesn't lose its older leaves on top as much as it did previously. And it started branching out on its own as well. Like, it doesn't need pruning or anything. It just started growing more beautifully and more healthy. So that is the thing. People tell you to check the leaves, see if they have shriveled, and if they feel squishy, and you can press them, or if the slits on the pearls are shrinking, they are not as fat as, then that you can go and water. But that is exactly why your string of pearls dies. So take my advice and give it lots and lots of light, and don't be frugal with your watering. So now that we've talked about watering, I think this plant would grow really well in terracotta pot. However, this originally came in a plastic pot, and I never changed it because, like I mentioned, I was too scared to, disrupt the root system of this plant. But the thing is, after watering, I would let it hang over here. So not only did the soil dry out by the plant soaking up the soil, some amount of drying from the top, but also there were like really large drainage holes at the bottom, so some amount of moisture would escape from the bottom of the pot as well. So I knew that this pot was very well equipped to dry the soil in a week. Now, if you have a terracotta pot, I think that would also work really well. But if you have it in a plastic pot, I would probably refrain from using, an outer decorative pot, or even a catch tray for holding the excess water that runs out from the bottom. I would just water it and then hang it back up on top. Now, you can totally bottom water this plant, you can give it a good shower, but please do give your string of pearls enough light and water. That is the only way you can keep growing this plant beautifully. Now, another aspect is, when we water our plants, eventually you're going to be losing soil. From the pot. And the thing is, since I top water this plant, I was noticing some pits on the top. And what I would do is, in order to make sure that the vines on top were always in contact with some sort of soil, I would just make some space, like split some vines with my fingers, and just very carefully, fill up those pits with more of my soil mix. And that way, I have seen that there's lots and lots of newer growth on top continuously. So, yeah, I would say top filling your string of pearls is very important, because every time you water the plant, it's gonna lose some amount of soil through the drainage hole. So it is important to keep filling it up. And I've noticed that I have had to do this almost every month, and I'm guessing that is because the roots of this plant are so delicate, and not quite as extensive. So that is why a lot of soil tends to run out every time I'm watering. So almost every month I will be filling up the pits that keep forming on top. So, the main takeaways that you are getting from this video is not to rush into repotting this plant once you get it from the nursery or the plant shop. Second, give it direct sunlight, which seems to be gentle to you. So, if the direct sunlight feels nice on your skin, probably your string of pearls is also going to like it. And if possible, give it more regular watering. Now, of course, if you're living in a hot and humid place, I'm sorry, you have to figure out the frequency. But if you're living in the temperate zone, because your homes are heated, chances are that the humidity in your home is going to be like way low. And so, even if you water it every week, the soil is going to dry out quickly, even if you have it in a plastic pot. So, provided you still have drainage holes. So, that's it. So, those are the three things that really changed the game for me. And I hope these tips really help you to read the signs your plant is giving you based on your care. I understand the fact that not every single actions which I have taken for my home are going to work out exactly the same way in your home. So always keep a feedback loop open, adjust watering schedule, and see what happens to your plant. Try and adjust some lighting changes and see how the plant responds, because before it dies, it is going to show you signs of struggle, or it's going to show you signs of doing really well. So that's all the tips that I have for you today in order to take care of your string of plants. So if you do try out some of these experiments yourself, do come back and let me know if this worked for you in the comment section. I would really appreciate it. And in the process, I would also learn something from you, right? So, yes, let's keep the conversation going down below. And I hope to see you in the next one. And if you have some time, do watch some of these other videos that YouTube thinks you'll like. So till we meet again, take care. Bye.